This is Fred Beck from Fred Beck Fighting. I'm joined by Alexis here in Newcastle. This interview is taking place before the fight. It's probably going to go out next week sometime. But excited for fight night? Ready to go?
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be some really good fights. And then you've got the tournament, pro tournament. So yeah, definitely looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be fun. And also, tournament fighting is always interesting. Because sometimes it's not the best fighter that wins. The guy that gets through the tournament, less injuries, no hand injuries, no cuts. You've got to watch out stylistically because you've got southpaws and orthodox fighters. So generally, sometimes they get cuts as well. It'll be an interesting fight.
It's going to be a good night, 11 or 10, 11 fights. So yeah, it'll be a long one and a busy one, but no, it's going to be good. You're here in Newcastle though. You gone out at all? Seen a few sites?
No, we flew in early in the morning. Hit a couple of workouts. I had a meeting, and then for the fights tonight, that's it. I think it's going to be a quick turnaround, then we're back out again. Right. I've got another
in and out sort of thing.
Yeah, have another guy fighting actually this evening on PFL that I've sent another team to in Wembley in London. So.
Did your guy win the World Championship in France?
He did. Yeah. We had a guy, Felix Klingham. He's a German kid. He's 10-0 now, undefeated as an amateur and undefeated as a pro. He fought a 17-0 Brazilian and beat him for the world title. That was a fantastic night for him.
Did he go to the ground?
It did. He's a very good ground fighter. Okay. Yeah, he's very good. So.
I was going to say, the Brazilian will obviously be very good at jiu-jitsu. You've been training with Ksi'S out here, though? Just on a session?
Yeah, training hard. Just, working around a few of the injuries that we have, but still putting in the sessions. So.
What weight is he around now?
We're around the 200 mark, 200-pound mark.
And do you like him at that weight, or do you prefer him to go down about 185? Which weight do you like him at the most?
Yeah, I think realistically speaking, with the fights that are available at the moment that people want to see, they're all heavy fights. So as much as he might naturally be walking around at like 170, 175, for us to keep him at the 200 mark, it means we can bring him down to that the 185 mark. So I think keeping him at this weight's, optimum.
Okay, yeah. It's walking around weight.
Yeah, because you've got much more power. You've got much more explosivity, and then we just got to push the cardio up so it can carry that weight. But yeah, I think this is the right weight for him.
And how is the hand injury? Has he got surgery on it? What's the situation of the hand?
No, we've had a few specialists now. We've had it injected. We've had a treatment on it, and we've had to position it in a certain way. But it's not giving us any problems at the moment, so good place.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
How competitive is sparring between Ashley Raksu and Idris Virgo compared to the KSI sparring with Idris?
How competitive? Ashley's just started. He's just started with us. For this camp. When I say just started, there's a difference between how you spar when you spar a pro and you get moves around, to how you spar when a pro tries to kill you. And he's getting to the point now where Idris can try and kill him, and he can have a competitive spar. That takes a while to get hold of. Your energy, your cardio, how you deal with that intent. That sort of intense sparring. So he's doing really well for the level he's at. He's doing really well. There's a very big difference. KSI has done close to 1,000 rounds of sparring, live sparring.
Would you have Ashley Raksu spar KSI in the next 3 months, do you reckon? Is Ashley moving quick?
Yeah, no, he's not quite at that level to spar that
not
level.
Yet, but like in 3-4 months' time down the
line,
maybe?
A little bit further down the line, definitely. The thing about Ashley is he's an intense character as well. So, those spars are really intense. You've got to be kind of careful with that. A lot of the time when you have sparrings, you've got that spar where there's, they're trying to kill each other, but they're also competent boxers. And then if one doesn't have the experience of the other, you kind of generally want the more experienced guy to stick it on the person, then relax, bring him back onto it. A lot of time, because like JJ's intent is also to kill. It's difficult for him to move you around. His experience level is still at the kill level. If I tell JJ not to throw punches and just move him around, no problem. But yeah, you could spar like that, but I wouldn't put them in just to spar each other.
Right. Okay.
I think
I'm not saying Ashley sparring KSI now. I'm saying like 3-4 months down the line, how the rate Ashley's improving.
Yeah, you could. There's no reason why you can't jump in and do rounds, but it's just like I said, and there are different types of spars that you have. Like we always like to get, the simulation of a fight is a good way to make people spar or to bring on skill levels.
Right.
So it depends on what level, on what stage Ashley's at the moment,
And you've got KSI boxing southpaw now as well.
Yeah, we have all of our guys are switch hitters. We would always want to make people switch hitters because sometimes when you fight on the inside, you cross your feet, and wherever you land and you finish is where you should start punching from. So it's always good to have balance in both feet. So you don't always have to rely on just being an orthodox fighter. We're not saying that you can actively be a defensive southpaw. Do you understand what I mean? But we are saying that if you fall in that stance in a clinch or off of a punch and there's an opportunity, if you don't know how to punch from that stance, it's our fault. Right. You should know how to punch from that stance. And
then it'll be kind of Q1 to the first quarter of next year, January to April time. KSI will be out next.
That's the plan, yeah, 100%. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
And when will his hand be 100% again? Like 2 months down the line, do you reckon? Yeah, or is it moving a little bit quicker than that?
No, I think we'll be looking to test it in the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks.
Is that a scary thing? You can just go hit the bag as hard as you can. No, does it hurt?
Not really. I mean, because you'll do tensile strength tests first. Mm-hmm. So you load it differently. So you'll load it with a certain glove, you'll load it with a certain, and then you'll work your way down with less padding, less glove. Right. You'll work your way through it. To be honest with you, with hand injuries, generally speaking, the more the pad, sometimes the more you feel it, because you actually want to wrap your hand and get a good fist. So it connects rather than being a bit looser. So a lot of people overwrap sometimes. I think less of a wrap and a bit of a bigger glove will be fine.
Okay, yeah. Hand injury is always a massive pain in the ass. Jake Paul
Shakur just broke his hand, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch that online?
I didn't see it break his hand. Yeah. I saw the thing. I saw the video of him in a hospital.
Yeah, there's a clip of him actually double right bodying, and I think he hit the hip and just broke his hand.
And that's like with Joe Cordina as well.
Yeah.
Shakur would have won that.
Yeah, I mean he's fantastic, but Joe Cordina's great as well.
He got stopped against Tikkytokky, didn't he? And Saudi.
Yeah, I mean look, these things styles make fights. I think Shakur's stylistically and one of the best fighters on the planet. So.
You met him?
I've been into some of the spars, but I haven't met. But yeah, but being present when these guys are sparring is like you get to see firsthand what some of these guys are like, and they're special fighters. Yeah,
sure. Special is probably the right word to use. Moving on then, Jake Paul Tyson's happening in a few months. Are you still confident it doesn't happen? Or are you slowly easing into the fact that it's going to happen?
I think I'm just hoping it doesn't happen. I think I'm hoping it doesn't happen more than it. I mean, it looks like it might happen, which is terrible, but I don't want to see it. Listen, I have no problem with Jake Paul fighting, doing his thing, no problem. I just don't want him to see, to fight a 60-year-old man. I think it's ridiculous, like legit ridiculous. The guy's in and out of hospital. Yeah, it's just not for me. It's just not what I want to see. I understand picking fights. I understand the idea of the hype behind it, but I just think the concept. I think Jake's gonna lose fans. I'm not saying it won't be well watched. I think it'll be well watched, but I don't think it'll be well received. Right. I don't think anyone wants to. I think we're all gonna watch out of. Oh, we want to see it, but we don't really want to see it. That's I think the unfortunate thing.
Yeah. And I guess that sort of thing. You don't want to watch it, and then it's on Netflix and everyone's watching it. So it's a kind of two double-edged sword. You guys turned down the Evander Holyfield offer, though?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think I think there's an idea of money grabbing, which is, I understand that concept. There's also an idea of challenging yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you're fighting guys that are in their 60s and they're old, I think you've got to play the fine line. Like, we want to make sure that, let's say, we pick a boxer that's still got credential and that's still young enough. Someone like Mayweather, as an example, right? He's still active, he's still boxing, and he's undefeated. It's not that he's been retired for 20 years. Like, you look at someone like Amir Khan, young, world champion, still active, retired, but still can conceivably fight. Like, if you're going to go for like huge names, I guess they've got to be somewhat young and relevant rather than digging them up. Retired fighter.
Digging them up is a great expression. That's a really good expression.
I just feel it's a little. I feel that I think the fans are going to realise that this is a bit. It's not the kind of fight they want to see. Like I said, I think it'll be well viewed, but I don't think it's going to be well received.
Just gonna check my notes on my phone. I got some other things I do want to ask you. KSI's music. How do you intend as a coach to balance him at the studio and him at the gym? Do you sometimes have to fight for make sure you're in the gym this time? How do you go about balancing his schedule? Yeah, well, so we're actively involved in his diary. So like we'll book in, we'll move sessions and book them in and get what we need first. And then realistically speaking, everyone wants a piece of. If you've got superstars and athletes, everyone wants a piece of them. And our job is to get. I feel like we've got the most dangerous job. We're the ones keeping him safe. Mm-hmm. So we take priority. Yeah. And then apart from that, we'll fit around things, but our job is to keep him. Nothing really works if we don't work. If we get him wrong, it's quite destructive.
that makes sense. Like if he gets injured, or he gets hurt, or he gets knocked out.
What's the riskiest one you've got here?
Yeah, so I feel like that should take precedent. So we do, we get our sessions in first. So we do the timetables built around our sessions.
Oh, yeah. You've not seen the new timetable they've given you? Oh, blimey. No, be happy to hear, though, he does still prefer boxing rather than music, actually, when it's farm sound of fighting in the ring, so...
I think you get a different high from it as well. Yeah. Like he loves music, and you see him, he's really well received as well. Like, it's just sold out Dublin. Like, everyone loves, what he does, but I think there's an element of being in a ring and fighting that is just uncomparable. Like, it's a very different feeling to, I guess, selling out a music shop. I mean, I don't know, but from what he tells me, there's a different vibe.
Are you going to go along to some of his shows when he starts performing again?
I've seen some of his shows. Yeah, they're great. Yeah, fun.
Is your son a fan of KSI's music?
Yeah, both my son and my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You met him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always at the gym.
Oh, really? Is your son got better technique than KSI? Boxing skills?
My son is 8 years old and he's been training since he was 1.
So longer than KSI?
Way longer. Yeah.
So the answer is yes.
He's good. Is the answer.
Okay, there's a couple more things before we kind of do wrap this up. I asked him yesterday how many fights do you reckon he got left in his career, because I've heard him say before, I want to box 3-4 more times, and then he goes and says, I don't really mind, I'll see how it goes. As a coach, do you ever have to step in and say, when you start seeing him go a little bit slower, or maybe his attitude changes, do you step in and say, maybe this isn't the time? How do you intend to kind of say how many fights he's got left in his career? Yeah. I guess it's down to the fighter, but the coach always has an opinion. Yeah,
see, the good thing about this relationship is that I don't want him to box if he doesn't want to box. Yeah. That's a good thing. None of us need to be doing this. We want to do it. And that's a key factor of this. Someone like Jake Paul's put himself into, I'm a boxer, I'm this, I'm that. And then when you put yourself into a box, you push yourself and you back yourself into
You're putting all your eggs in one basket, sort of thing.
And also you're pressurizing yourself. I think fighting at this level, in this environment, in this, in this space, you've got to love doing it. You've got to want to do it. You've got to either hate the person that you're fighting and want to beat him up, or you've got to have that, this is one of my idols, I can't wait to fight this guy. There's got to be a love or a hate involved, a passion involved in fighting. And the second you don't have it, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be pushing somebody into fighting, and I don't want that person to feel like that they're pressured into fighting. So for us,
I think there's an element of trust an element of trust and the friendship you built up with them, because you would get a few boxing coaches who would try and milk it for as long as possible. But you guys aren't about that.
There are so many coaches in this space, especially because there's more money. Listen, I've been professional fighting for nearly a good part of 30 years in the top end. I've had heavyweight champions of the world, WBCs, IBF, whatever. I've had all of them, Olympic gold medalists. The pressure that coaches will put on fighters for money is insane, because this is how they live. Mm-hmm. It's got nothing to do with that for us. For us, it's a passion, and we love being in part of the journey. And I think it shows because we put all of our eggs, we roll with our fighters. Like, I'm happy to do whatever they want to do. Like, there shouldn't be any pressure involved. You should want to and love to do this sport, and the passion should be there. And there's loads of other coaches in here that blow a whistle and shout, and they think they're coaches. And coaching's got to do with being intellectually part of the sport, being passionately involved in the sport. It's not just about taking 10% and blowing a whistle and shouting at somebody to do another tuck jump. You've got to understand where they are in a fight, how their mindset, being in that ring, understanding the environment of their life. Every part of it's sort of like, woven together. So I think the idea that people will just like push people into fighting is outrageous. You're pushing them to a situation that could put them in great harm. So guys that want 10%, 20% of the money, of these huge, and they're huge fights. There's millions of pounds at stake for these coaches. And they're like, you got to do it. And you're like, you can brain dead that guy. The 250 rounds we're doing with sparring before the fight, that's seriously detrimental to that guy's life. And you're not taking it seriously, and you don't know because you've never done it. And you go, yeah, one more round, or yeah, do that. Or worse yet, you don't make them spar. And you make them feel really good, and you make them feel great. You're doing really great, you're on the pads, you're catching everything. Suddenly you get them to fight, and they get murdered in a fight. And you're like, next time, it wasn't your night. Well, I just find that ludicrous. I find that reckless, and it's not something I ever want to be part of. And I think a lot of the coaches, unfortunately, fall into that bracket because they're looking for money, because it's their only way of getting paid. And I think it's unfortunate because they're not the real coaches. The real coaches are the ones that
tell them to step away at the right time.
Yeah, and the real coaches, it's like Derek Chisora is a great example. Mm-hmm. This guy's, he's got 48 fights. He wants to go to 50. Everyone's like, he should never fight Joe Joyce. And like, He beat Joe Joyce, who was top 10 in the world, yeah? He's now ranked. He's now earning millions of pounds, and everyone's like, well, he should pack it in. He's got 2 more fights. With the right fights in the right way, he can finish boxing in a place that looks after his whole family, that's less damaging than the first part of his career. If you manage guys like that correctly and give them the right fights where, you know, you're not putting, they're going to be in danger, but there's a risk-reward factor. I think that danger equals itself out. But with guys like JJ, you know, there's risk-reward, but they're not boxers their whole lives, right? So the risk-reward is different, and the motivation is different. The audience is different. The fights are different. So I think that the coaches have to look at the environment they're in and really think to themselves, is this the right thing for the guy? And take themselves out of it. I think that's a huge part of what they don't do. Everyone's in it for a payday, and I find that just a little bit
dirty almost.
Yeah, because you're playing with health. It's not just money. You're playing with that guy's health, or that girl's health, or that girl's face, and that guy's, you know, injuries. You know, I know JJ's family. You know what I mean? They're watching their kid go and fight. Mm-hmm. Sit down and have a conversation with his mum, and tell me that you want to put him into a ring underprepared. You know, I know Derek Chisol's kids. You think I want to put their daddy into a fight where he has the potential to die? I'm just going to make money from it. Mm-hmm. It's a dirty thing to be part of, unless your heart's in it, unless you have gone through the sparring and the fitness and you're confident that that guy can look after himself and he can do a good job and he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
I want to be part of that journey. That's what. That's why we can sleep at night. Mm-hmm. That's why we can sleep at night. I think you do it the other way around, and it's just a dirty business.
No, it's a good answer. That's why I brought it up, because I know that you guys, a lot of people, I guess, on social media, accusations might be thrown around. So I just wanted to make sure that you got it straight, and you gave a good answer. You know. Yeah,
no, I appreciate that. I think that's the reason why we've got so many fighters.
Especially when you're training one of the biggest stars, who's earning the most, and the biggest stars on the planet. Yeah, people will say that sort of thing, but that's why I know you guys aren't after that.
Yeah, look, I think there's great reward and great prizes when you do a good job. That's the thing, though. Do a good job, and doing a good job sometimes means we don't fight. That's part of doing a good job. That's part of that's part of the position that we're in, as people know how real we are. That's part of the reason why we're as good as we are, because people know that we don't take. It's not about bullshit. I'm not about embarrassing anybody. Like, I'm not going to try and. I would never disrespect any of the fighters I have. I'd never out them online. I'd never do any of that shit. It's all personal stuff. I know it makes good viewing, but I feel it very fake and disrespectful. Do you understand what I mean? Like, if there's an issue, we resolve it in with each other, and we come out united and we do the right thing for the fighter. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people do it the other way around. They just want clout.
Yeah.
It's a bit shitty, but I guess that's part of this space as well. Mm. You know?
Very, 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 very chaotic for sure. How's your other side? How's Marios? The man that's never been seen on camera.
Yeah, he's good. We're all good. Look, we've got a coaching team, especially him. These guys are. I think he's super busy. He's got like 15, 16 pros he does, himself on the weekends and stuff. We've got so many fighters that we're splitting them up to make sure everyone gets the right amount of time, the right coaching, the right physiotherapy, the right fitness, the right fight circuits. It's a lifelong business. It's not one of these things that just switches on and switches off. So when I'm not working, he's working, and when he's working, I'm not working.
Right.
So it's quite a fine balance.
You never get days off with him then?
No, we roll together all the time. It's just now because we've got to make sure everyone's in the right pocket. Like you said, I've got guys fighting. I've got multiple guys fighting this weekend, last weekend, right, across the world, Paris, Dublin, Germany, America. If we're not all on it together, it doesn't work out. Mm. So we all have a schedule that we're quite meticulous. We've got PA. We've got people that work for us. So, yeah. We've got gym managers in the gym. We've got I think now we've got 18 to 20 coaches now that work with us. Right. But these are coaches that we train since they were like 9 years old, kids. Like I've got, like Harry's one of our coaches.
Well, the other guy, I forgot, Asaya? Asaya, yeah.
He's with, he was with HS, Tikkytokky. He's a good guy, and he was with Ashley this weekend. Yeah. Harry, these guys have had like 70, 80 fights for England.
I interviewed Asaya after the fight.
He's
a nice guy, I like him.
He's a lovely, he's a lovely guy. He's 39-1 boxing. Mm-hmm. He's a tough guy. I think he's 7-0, 3-0 amateur, 4-0 pro MMA. He's a good fighter. He's an up-and-comer. I think it's a great space for him to be involved in coaching, get a few more fans, and to keep him busy. I think in between fights, it's nice for him to be involved in this as well.
Yeah,
and I trust him.
Yeah, that's what I was asking him about. I was saying lots of fighters struggle for finding other jobs, so it's good you can earn money coaching and stay in the industry and then fight as well. You can mix those two things. One more thing before I let you go. HS Tikkytokky. You guys' coaching team now, or is it a little bit hit or miss considering he lives in Dubai?
Yeah, so we send guys out for HS. Right. So when he was in Dubai, we send guys out. When he's in Spain, where he was staying this summer, we send guys out with him. So yeah, we speak to HS pretty much every other day. He's on it. Yeah, he's on it.
And is he training hard? Do you reckon he'll be disciplined? I think that's the first question a lot of people says about HS is he going to be disciplined in the gym?
He's a very disciplined kid when he's got his mind on something. When he's switched on, he wants something. The kid goes and gets for it. I think he's massively talented. And very, very OCD on it, like when he wants to be on it. Obviously, he's young, and he's making money, and he's got other revenues. But fighting, the guy's got a massive punch on him. Takes a shot and listens to coaching really well. I've sparred him enough in the gym to know that he's definitely got an attribute to him. So he's a pleasure to work with. And I think that if he dedicated himself, he would be a problem.
If he dedicates himself.
Yeah, you got to remember, it's the success factor. He's a very successful kid. And he's young, so he wants to go out. He wants to see these places. He wants to travel the world. He wants to make more money. With boxing, it's like, someone like JJ, he's already done all those things, and he's focused. Do you understand what I mean? I think with HS, he's quite spread out, so it's difficult for him to focus on something. But I think if he did focus on it, he'd be a problem, for sure.
Do you agree with the comments kind of flying around that he'll beat Jake Paul in a year?
If he dedicated, I'll be straight up. Yeah, he's got a massive punch and a good chin. He's got a massive punch on him, like enormous. Like he sleeps people. And he knows how to step in and use it. But obviously he's not an accomplished boxer yet because he hasn't put all that work in. But it's just up to him to do it. If he decides to do it, he'll do it. He's got every attribute, 100%. I think he used to play quite high-level football.
Right. Yeah, you played for West Ham, I think.
Yeah, he's got good footwork. Like you put him on the ladders, you get him moving. He's athletically gifted. So you've got a kid who can punch hard, who's athletically gifted, who's got a good chin, and who likes to fight. If you make a fighter, those are pretty good fucking attributes to have. And he's big as well.
Yeah.
Like he's solid. He's a unit. So.
Does he ever give you guys any lip?
No.
Any back chat? Because he's very witty.
No, he's a funny kid, but he knows the same as he knows we're there for him.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what we're about. Like I have no problem with HS. He knows it's not about anything. I don't give a. If he doesn't win, we don't get paid. What can you say to us? Do what I want you to do because I'm doing it for you. Do you understand what I mean? Like I'm not getting anything out of it. You're not paying me to do that. I'm doing this because we've got an end goal that we all want to accomplish. So if you get paid a crazy amount of money and we take a proportion of it because we do a really good job, you're cool with that, right? That's the relationship that we have. Besides the fact that I like him, he's actually a good kid. Like he's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. He helps a lot. He helps a lot of people as well. He's a good guy, which is always nice. People don't get that about people. He's actually a good guy as well. So people have a view of him because of probably his online persona, which I'm not massively into. Like I don't look at everything he does, but I know that he's got one side to him that's a particular way. But I see him with people. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, there's two sides of him. There's kind of the on-camera side and then the off-camera side. So I think that's quite fair to say. Before I let you go, anything else come up for you though? Away from the fighting side?
No, just fights. No, we're back to back. I think we're not going to. I think we're going to be in Saudi for Riyadh season, probably 21st of December. I think that's my last booked fight. I think.
Fighting.
It'll probably be Derek actually, which is on one of those cards. He's top 5, so they're going to give him a big name. But it'll be hopefully one of the names that we want, which I feel are beatable. And he's got one last fight left on his in his career.
Wait, how many fights? You said 48 now?
48, so he wants
to retire
two more.
50. Two more.
Yeah, so after this one, he'll have one last one. I think he wants that fight to be in Africa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think that'll be...
Wow.
I think it'll be spectacular.
Could you do that at Misfits? Or would that be a Matchroom or Queensbury?
No, we could do it with whoever. Imagine Francis Ngannou versus Derek Chisora. The King of Africa. Who wins that? I mean, that's a great fight, no? That's a great fight.
I imagine Derek wins, but...
Yeah.
A lot of people thought Francis got us better over Tyson, so...
He went 10 rounds with Fury and dropped him. right?
He probably did a better. Yeah, he did. Francis definitely did a better job than Derek did against Fury.
Yeah, I thought Francis boxed out of his socks on that night. I just think that Fury probably didn't take it too seriously. And can't deal with that southpaw style as well. Like, he has a problem. Fury's good as a southpaw. He's good as a defensive southpaw, offensive southpaw, but he's not so good against a southpaw. Fury's good when he goes southpaw, but I think that put him off as well. But AJ dealt with Ngannou as he should have. That was spectacular from AJ. Spectacular knockout.
Yeah, first round. Can't really go wrong. But anyway, Alexis, as always, I do appreciate it. I'll come down and see you at the gym when something gets announced, hopefully of HS in the near future. But yeah, thanks as always.
Sounds like a plan. Appreciate it. Thank you.